Ashes, and I'm here representing with my sisterins and them. 4 women in them. So, we're starting this off with a nice big bang. We have been on social media putting out certain questions and everything out there on certain topics. Because us not like to have a good old chin wag, but we was like, let's find out what people are really, what their thoughts are. So one of the themes that came out was culture vulture. I can hear some of you going, what's that? What's that? I know what culture is. I know what a vulture is. Well, if you know what a vulture is, you know a vulture is a greedy so-and-so. Yeah? Well, I done a little, last year, there was a magazine called Essence. You know the magazine Essence, right? So on October the 6th, 2017, a big fashion designer called Stella McCartney, she came out, she went and got some Ankara material, African traditional material, and what she'd done is she decided to have that for her spring collection with only a few minority of black people wearing those garments. And let me explain what she explained. This is what's been expressed. I quote from the Essence magazine, because there's nobody going to be putting us up for a lawsuit. Let's read it from here. Earlier this week, Stella McCartney incorporated Ankara, a traditional African print in colourful tribal patterns, in her collection and sent numerous African-inspired dresses down the runway. To make matters worse, McCartney referred to the collection as, wait for it, a joyful exploration of British style. Oh!
Done by a rich person.
Number 6.
In her show programme, and only sent a few black models down the runway for her spring collection show. Okay, so that's one. I just gotta go to the other, because there's lots of stuff that I've seen pop up. And ASOS is another one, who recently a young lady popped up, Kelechi Okofo, forgive me for the pronunciation, and this is what she says. You'll have everything to do with blackness except for actual black people. That's where I'm gonna leave it, right there, just there. So guys, culture vultures, what is it? Let's hear from you, because not often we get to hear from the man.
Well, I mean, before we go in, I have no idea who these two people are sitting beside me.
You don't know who they are.
I presume you're the presenter.
You don't know.
I'm gonna make a guess.
Alright, do I have to do that one again?
No. Roll it. This is the pilot.
Introduce yourself, the man.
I'm introducing myself. Okay. I'm him, and that's all you need to know about me. You can refer to me as him.
No, brother.
What's that show where the guy always only looks over the fence? And I'm him. Yeah.
Home improvement.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm him. Yeah. Now, who are you?
Wow.
That's my sister, right here.
Sister Jen. So I'm Lips Red, and I like to comment and discuss different elements that go on in modern contemporary culture. I love journalism, I love history, and I love documentary writing.
So learn a little bit more
I didn't know that
about her than him.
You didn't know that about
No, about the documentary writing.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
See? It's good to talk, innit?
It is good to talk. I mean, nothing's come to fruition yet, which is why it's not probably spoken about as much for you to know about.
Honesty for you.
But yeah, that's definitely my interest.
Cool. For you, this is when it comes up on the screen. Carry on, who you are?
Oh God, Robert.
It's my sister.
I'm him.
He is, yeah. We always got to call him him. That's the key. We always have to call him him.
No, but him somebody.
Him or somebody.
Him or somebody.
Alright, I'm somebody picking.
Well, my name is Sasha Robinson. I'm a child of the diaspora, born to Jamaican and St. Lucian grandparents, raised in Battersea, South London, and everything good comes out of Battersea, oi oi. And I'm a presenter. I've worked with Mellow 9 Productions, for British Muslim TV, and for Sky My Channel. And I'm just really looking forward to working with these guys.
Oh gosh. So what, do I have to turn around and say who I am?
Of course, you're telling me who you are.
Oh my days, I didn't realise. Alright, so What can I say? I'm Peaches. Blow Me Up Peaches presents. I'm an all-round entertainer. I'm also one of the co-founders of Womanhood Academy. I'm about empowering young people, young females, young men. I'm about people being their authentic self. I'm a presenter, I'm a public speaker, and I just lead by example. Do you understand what I'm saying? That just being me, not trying to copy no one, but me.
Nice.
So come on, who are you?
I'm
He's
him.
him.
I'm him.
You know he's happy with that.
I'm happy with him. You know what? I'm all over this platform, innit? So can I just be somewhere where I'm just him?
Just him.
Yeah,
Just him.
So here I'm him. I can work with that.
So back to you then. Culture vulture.
So
What does that mean?
we're gonna go into the question.
Yes, right now. What is culture vulture to you?
That will come.
All right. So the question that I'm posing to everybody, and more importantly, I'm going to send to you guys is, what are culture vultures? Over to you.
Okay. Culture vultures. I'm a child of Rastafari. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like it right now.
What does that mean?
Right? Rastafari is a combination of beliefs that began during slavery in the Caribbean. It can be dubbed a Pan-African type of movement. With Haile Selassie by some Rastafarians seen as God incarnate.
Okay.
And they are followers of Marcus Garvey's political stance, etc. So you can do your research. We can leave Edith there. But yeah, so culture vulture. I would define someone like a white Rastafarian as a culture vulture, and I'm going to lead with that one because it's the one that pisses me off the most.
Ooh.
Yeah. The reason why I say it annoys me the most is because it's like, can't black people have anything for themselves, you know? And the fact that it's an organisation that was founded off the back of our enslavement and our pain, and that's at the centre of the belief system. From that perspective, and the Back to Africa aspect of it, how can, by definition, a white person be a Rastafari? Yes, they can adhere to the principles of Rastafari in that sense, in terms of the way that you are living, but ultimately you don't share our experience, and it's our experience, not your experience. So for me, as a child who comes from that background, my parents being that way inclined, not so much in the practicing sense, walking around in the stereotypical sense, in the garments and head wraps, etc. But from a cultural perspective, my parents are Rastafarian, and it's a big thing in our family. So I would consider white people who identify themselves as white Rastafarians to be culture vultures based on its history. You cannot be.
But you see, I think there's a difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. In that aspect, I would almost see it more as a cultural appreciation, that white Rasta on the beach, not really profiting from it. Where I see it as cultural appropriation is when another community takes our cultural thing, our product, our service, our trend, and makes money off it, and it literally doesn't, or excludes the people of ethnic origin. That to me is when I get offended. When it's a white Rasta on the beach, puffing a bit of puff, I've not got an issue.
So but you see, then that again is something that kind of offends me, because that is how white people see Rastafari. They see Rastafari as smoking weed, wearing dreadlocks, and fucking reggae music.
But then there's
to me, that's upsetting.
So you say that though, Bobs, yeah? But then let's put it like this. So Rastafari, is that not a way of life? Is it not love? Is it not oneness? Just asking.
Yeah.
And if it is that, then is it not back to what Sister Christel said? Is that not? So, okay, but I know you know it.
Don't say it's good. They don't know me as Crystal.
Sorry, don't get familiar. Familiarity brings content.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's read. Isn't that appreciation though?
No.
If they're not making money off it,
Well, there are some that are actually profiting from that. I remember going to Scala and with my ex, who is a Rasta, and we went to Dub, we went to Jashaka, or I think it was Abashanti or whatever, and we went to this venue and it was predominantly white. Yes, it's a good thing because they love the music. That's
and they're buying the tickets.
entity,
Like
but
David Robinson now.
that we're going to get to that because he did come in my mind, and Compton had a lot to say. To you get what I'm saying? But just bringing it back to Rastafari itself, there was someone who was profiting from that, and I mean, I didn't have any hard feelings towards him as a person. I'm talking generally here. I love people, you know, let me get that out there. This is not coming from a place of hatred. This is coming from a place of protection, you know, and love for my culture and making people understand what it is that we've experienced as the African diaspora, you know. And he was in there selling all of this stuff. And he was the one who actually organised the event.
But can I give you an example around that? And I don't want to be, who's that guy who used to be the devil's advocate all the time? Darkest,
yes, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But he might play that kind of role. And it's only because I'm listening around the cultural appropriation. I agree with what you're saying around the difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation.
And her points are very valid.
I do get it. But on the flip side, couldn't Europeans look at us as culture vultures? Because everything we do is an emulation of their stuff.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? I've got you on that, brother. Just give me a finger. Because you know what? I've got to be real. As you were talking, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at you. I said, Rastafari.
But that's the key point. You could come back and look at because if you look at European mostly look at black women and look at with the weave and the different type of hairstyles we have, and I've got a big issue about cultural appropriation. But most of them don't give a shit because we're not financially benefiting. We're not financially benefiting from it at all anyway. But in regards to culture vulture. The culture vulture business, aren't we constantly, because we're always picking up everything we do is European minded, and we don't mind. But the minute they pick up something which we do, where's the
I don't think a hairstyle is European minded. First of all, let me just put that out there. But I see all angles. So don't take that statement as my stance in its entirety because it's not. So, but I just want to touch on that, and that's why I did start by saying externally you might not know that that's my belief system, and I get that. That's why I started off my statement by saying that people would automatically assume, because of the way that I chose to present myself today, that I wouldn't have any kind of association with that.
The argument's still valid either way, whether it was something, it's still a valid.
Indeed, but again, that's when we're looking at the superficiality of it, and that goes back to how white people view Rastafari. They look at the superficiality of it and then exploit that, and I find it very offensive. Like for example, you can go on eBay and you find like hats with fake Just Let and now I draw a line. I wear all sorts of styles. You will see me with a different wig next week. I wear all different styles, but I draw a line at having fake dreadlocks. That's where I'll draw a line. I've actually done it, but then I had to cut it off. I would not do it. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like.
So have we got what culture? Have we defined with this the difference between culture vulture and appreciation? So cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.